Well, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and a Happy New Year, man. I'm super excited. 2024, I cannot believe it's here. I got 3 baits, top 3 baits for January, and I think one of these baits you've never ever heard of. It's kind of one of those baits that I keep under my hat. We're gonna let it go right here on this top 3 baits in January video. Hit that like, subscribe button. Here's to a great 2024 and the top 3 baits of January fishing. All right, so just like all my videos, we just try to narrow it down to 3 baits that I've got tied on in my boat in January. And these baits are gonna be baits that I have tied on if I'm from Texas to who knows how far north, all the way out to the east. Obviously, if I was down in Florida or someplace, subtropical like that, these baits aren't gonna be the deal down there. Just sorry, but they're not. This is gonna be for that cold wintertime fishing that we have around most of the country. And I really want to cater these baits towards forward-facing sonar. It's just such a huge thing that all of us are talking about that, that I have on my boats. I have multiple ones on my boat. It's just crazy. But these baits definitely shine with forward-facing sonar. So let's talk about baits in January. I don't have out here on my desk because I don't feel like I need to tell you, but I'm going to tell you right here, Alabama rig, put that thing with 1/8 ounce heads. Don't put too big of heads on there, a jerk bait. Those are going to be baits that I feel like you should know about. If you've been watching the channel enough, you go back to my January videos in the past or my February videos, you're going to see where I've talked about those baits. I've got different baits for you this month. Ones that I think are new. Well, real new. Some of them are not even on the market yet. So, so let's get off into it. All right, so the first bait. This is a brand new bait from Berkley. It's called a power switch. It's really, really cool. It comes out in a lot of different sizes. They've got them from 1/8 ounce all the way up to 1 ounce. The 1 ounce is going to be something we'll talk about in June, where you can hop it out there on the ledges. But, basically this is a bait that's it's built for using with your forward-facing sonar. If I can get this thing open right here, I'm just going to show you what they look like here. Get it out of the package. It's got a really lively tail. It's got a flat belly to it, so when you drop it or you throw slack to it, it darts. It's just darting all over the place. You throw it out there and you see those fish, you let it fall down to them, and man, you just start hopping that thing above them. Try to keep it up above them. It's just a neat little minnow style bait, a pre-rigged minnow bait. One thing that I think the power switch is a little bit different than other baits is when those fish are really active. If you've got that water, like some of this water right now around my house is still in the 50s. You go south just a little bit, there's some water in the 60s in North Texas, still right now in the first part of January. So this is a bait that's a little heavier. I can work it quicker. I can work it with heavier line in and around timber, standing timber like on Table Rock, or I can pitch it over a rail in a dock, let it go down there, and really hop that thing up and forward. The heavier line is going to help this bait to keep it up in the water column. It's a heavy bait. It's a bait I can get down to them quick. It's also a bait that shines when those fish get really, really deep. Because this thing is a 3-inch bait, but it's a 3/8 ounce size. That's the size I've got here. I've got the next size bigger right here. It's a 3.5 inch. That's a 5/8 ounce size. So when they're feeding on bigger shad or they're out deeper, you can go with that bigger one. And they make even a 2.5 inch, I think it is, and it's the next size smaller. But this is a great color here, HD Blue Wizard. A really cool color that really mimics shad really well. It's just a cool bait. It's got some mylar in it. It's really reflective when that thing starts turning in the water. This silver bullet's probably one of my favorites. Really a neat little color right there. This is going to be for really clear water, sunny days. And then this HD Purple Wizard, just another good shad imitating color. Those are the 3 I chose for you. And as with all of my baits and these top 3 baits videos, I'm going to give one of you guys, or 3 of you guys, these baits in February. I'll announce the winners in February. Just all you have to do is leave a comment and be a subscriber to my channel. So that's the first bait. the power switch, a little bit about it. 10, 12 pound test, sometimes 14 pound test if you're in some heavy cover or throwing it over docks. Let it go out there, you know, find it on your active target, find it, and then just start popping that thing, you know, just really pop it up over that fish. You'll be amazed at how this thing really darts back and forth and is all over the place. It's got a little flat tail right there that you can hold it still, and it's just constantly moving in the water. Cool bait, one that I think will play a bunch here at the end of the month when I go down to Toledo Bend. So I will have that tied on. Okay, the next bait. This bait I don't know that you guys have heard a lot about. It's really unique. It's a vibrato. Berkley makes this thing, you tie it on in the middle. And you know, a lot of us will throw a jigging spoon in the wintertime in January, February, and those shad start dying. This is like a step above a jigging spoon. And why I like it is it doesn't fall quite as fast as a jigging spoon. You know, a jigging spoon so much, you know, when it pops up, it's gonna fall back down like just how a jigging spoon's built. You know, you tie it on up here and it falls straight down, and then towards the end it might glide. The thing about this bait, you pop it up and then it flutters back down. You pop it up and it just flutters back down. So why would I want that? You know, there's just times that a jigging spoon falls way too fast. It just does. I don't know how else to say it. There's days that I want this bait tied on, and especially when I'm throwing something out in front of me, I can throw it out there, let that thing fall, and I can just pop it up, let it fall, pop it up, let it fall, and it just falls faster. And I've got a really good hookup percentage with it. It's got two really good treble hooks, you know, the front and the back. I'll put a little snap right there to you know, tie on to right here. Neat bait, guys. I throw this on 10 and 12 pound test. This size right here, believe it or not, that's a ½ ounce. It's the perfect size for when they're out there deep. It's just a cool bait. I can't believe I'm telling y'all about it. It's a great bait. But the vibrato, I've got some different ones for you. I've got this one right here, which is just a 3/8 ounce. It's a really silver looking bait. It's a hollow greenie is what it's called, but the belly of it's super reflective there on the belly. It's just a super cool bait. It's a little bit smaller. It's only 2 inches long. You talk about when those bass are keying on little bitty bait, you know, I can go to that smaller size, or if I'm fishing a little shallower. This bait right here, that's this one. This is a 2 1/4 inches long, ½ ounce. This color's Ghost Essence. If I'm saying that correctly, I just call it white. It's just a really cool bait. That's my favorite one by all means. So I've showed you the 3/8. They actually make, I don't have a quarter out here. They make a quarter. They make a really cool yellow perch color for like spotted bass when you need some chartreuse in it. The water's a little stained, a cloudy day. This color right here really shines for me. And I'm pretty sure it's called yellow perch. I call it yellow perch. It is. It's called yellow perch. But those are my top 3 favorite colors, the white being my #1. Those other 2, you know, are kind of interchangeable when I get a little clouds, a little bit more stained water. Cool bait, guys. It's one that I can see really well on my forward-facing sonar. It's one I can watch it go down and then just start popping that thing, letting it flutter back down at a slower rate and a completely different fall than a jigging spoon. It's very unique bait. All right, so last, you know, you've got to talk about, you know, just a ball head minnow. It's phenomenal bait. You know, some people might call it a Damiki rig, but it's where you take a little bitty, you know, 1/8 ounce, 3/16 ounce ball head, and you put it on a gulp minnow, just a 3-inch or sometimes a 4-inch gulp minnow. You talk about a technique that you want to catch a lot of fish. You know, it's calm out there and you've got them all suspended in the water column. You throw that thing over there and just let it sink and just shake your line, light line, 6, 8 pound test right above them. It will catch every fish in the water column. I've caught monster catfish, I've caught crappie, obviously lots of bass. But you know, just a ball head minnow. It's just a great finesse technique. You know, we mentioned a Alabama rig earlier. You know, Alabama rig is going to be one of those things when it goes and hits the water, splash. And I've seen fish run from it, like just from the splash when it hits the water. That's when you go over to this bait. You can let it hit the water. It doesn't make near as big a splash. You know, those calmer conditions, those sunny days, you know, when things are tough and you see those fish all suspended out there around shad, this is the bait you want to throw right here. It's just a really, really cool, phenomenal bait. I've got 3 different colors for you. I've got the blue shiner. It's just a super cool color. It's blue with silver belly. It just really, really, really real looking. And then, you know, just smelt. If you didn't have smelt, you know, you've got to have smelt. It's just a great color also. And then just pearl silver, cloudy conditions, stained water. This is my all around. Like when I'm in doubt and I go to the lake, which one do I tie on first of anything is always going to be white, just straight white. And I have to make them show me they're not going to bite it. So we got a lot of pressure on the bodies of water, and there's times they're not going to bite it. That's when you want to go with something more natural, you know, like one of these 2 colors right here. Clear water, sunnier days, those kinds of things. Go with something a little bit more natural, not quite as bright as that white. I like that white, though, when I start with that white, just because I think they can see it that much better. You know, you got to think about it. You're not making any noise with that bait, you know. This vibrato, it's going to make noise, believe it or not. You know, there's no rattles in it, but those little split rings and hooks, you know, when you pull it up, it's going to have a chatter to it. You know, all crankbaits, you know, a jigging spoon with that, you know, Alabama rig, those things make noise. They don't have to have rattles. This thing doesn't make noise. That's why I choose that white first, because I just want to be able to see it from a distance if I can. But a couple mistakes I see people making with this. Don't get too big a hook. You know, a short shank hook is a must. You know, don't get anything bigger than that. A little 1/8 ounce head, sometimes a 3/16, very short #1 hook. Light line, that's a must. I like a loop knot on it. I tie a lot of loop knots. It just lets that thing sit horizontally in the water as I'm working it back. Really, really good bait. It's a bait that's going to be tied on in February. It's a bait that I'm going to have tied on when I go to this first tournament of the season. It's probably a bait that really is going to stay on for a while throughout the season unless the fish are on the bank. But, you know, I think that whole deal originated from over in eastern Tennessee. They called it tight line, and a guide over there, really, really neat. But it's a bait you got to have tied on in January. It's a bait you got to have tied on forward-facing sonar. So, all right, guys, that's my top 3 baits for January. Glad to be back on YouTube. Pretty excited about it. I am going to put them all in a Plano 3700, the tried and true, the best all-time box they ever made. You know, this, you can't have enough of these 3700s. So just by leaving me a comment and subscribing, I just randomly go down through there, and I'm fixing to do it for last month's video, but I'll put one of each one of these with this box. I'll mail it to you guys once you email me your address. I will be the only person to contact. You will contact me. I'm saying I will never contact you. I've had some spam and whatnot on here, some nonsense. So I won't be sending you any emails. I won't be saying you won. The only winners are these ones that I announce right here on this video. So let's get right to it. All right, last month, we had Gills and Reels Fishing. Man, just thanks for leaving the comment. You said, congrats on the new store. Always the time and effort you put into these videos. Thank you. I opened a new pecan store, and I did the video there because that's where I was working nonstop. It was crazy, crazy month of November and December. All right, my next winner, Midwest Fisherman. I agree with all your November bait recommendations. I caught a keeper on the vibrating jig yesterday. That's great, man. And he also talked about that 1/4 ounce lipless crankbait. It's a video we did back in November. If you guys hadn't checked it out, check it out. And then my last winner, R. Winger. W-I-N-G-E-I-E-R. I butchered that. I'm sorry, buddy. I love the aquarium. The shop looks great. Do you have an online shop as well? Yes, we do have an online shop. Check it out sometime. But by leaving this comment, buddy, you are my 3rd winner. I will get those baits out to you as soon as you send me your address through my website. Just email me on my website your address. My wife will get those out to you as soon as we can. And then if you're wondering how to win these baits, you leave a comment in this video. When we go to do the February video, we will randomly select 3 people there, and you will possibly be one of them. You never know. So I appreciate all the support, guys. I appreciate you watching the channel. I can't wait for my season 2024 to kick off. We start off at Toledo Bend, then we go to Santee Cooper, then we got Red Crest at Lay Lake. So we got some big tournaments coming up. I'm super, super excited about it. Man, it's warm. We're having like a warm winter so far. That usually means it's going to get really, really cold, but man, things are warm right now. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hope it helps you out. Good luck fishing.